Welcome to the Math Review. In this question, we're being asked to find the value of 10 over 13 divided by 11 over 26. Now, this is a division of fractions question, which means you're going to need to make sure you know that you need to use something called KCF. So here I made this little KCF chart. I just feel like it makes things a little bit more clear and a little bit more helpful. So the K stands for keep. So this 10 over 13, we're going to keep it exactly like it is. This C stands for change. And what we're doing here is we're changing this division operation to multiplication. And the F stands for flip. So here we have 11 over 26. We're going to flip it so the top becomes the bottom and the bottom becomes the top. And that would become 26 over 11. So now that it's a multiplication of fractions question, that's not too bad. What we do need to know is that we're going to have to multiply the numbers in the top of the fractions to get our new numerator, or the top of the answer, and multiply the bottom numbers, or the denominators, to get our denominator for our answer. And the numbers here are a little bit bigger, so let's make a little separate work area on the side over here. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply 10 times 26. And in case you don't know how to use the rules for whenever you're multiplying by tens, we'll do the work on the side. So we've got 26 times 10. 0 times 6 is 0. 0 times 2 is also 0. Then I'll put a placeholder here. You can put a 0, but I like to put an X so it's not as confusing. Then you've got 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. We'll add that. That's going to be 0 plus nothing is 0. 0 plus 6 is 6. And 2 plus nothing is 2. So our new numerator is 10 times 26, which equals 260. Now let's get to the bottom. And that's going to be 13 times 11. One times 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. I'll put a placeholder, and then I'll multiply everything by 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. Then I'll add everything. We've got 3 plus nothing is 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. And 1 plus nothing is 1. So that's going to be 143. But that's an improper fraction, so what we have to do now is see how many times 143 can go into 260. So now we'll divide 260 by 143. Well, 143 can only go into 260 one time. So now we've got 1 times 143, which is 143. And then we'll subtract that. This has to become a 10, so we can subtract. Then this 6 becomes a 5. So we've got 10 minus 3 is 7. 5 minus 4 is 1. And 2 minus 1 is 1. And since that's our remainder, that's going to be the numerator for our mixed number, 117, over the divisor, which is 143. So our final answer is 1 and 117 over 143. But what you might not know is that this fraction part of the mixed number can be reduced, because both 117 and 143 can be divided by 13. And when you do that, that actually becomes 1, because we're keeping our whole number, and 9 over 11. Now, that was a lot of work, especially because the numbers were so big. So what I want to show you now is a method called cross-canceling. And because cross-canceling involves a little bit of reducing earlier on, it means a lot less of this messy big number math that we have here. Let's check it out. So here's how cross-canceling works. So let's go back to the KCF step, because we do need to make sure that we get that far. KCF is going to happen no matter whether you use cross-canceling or you don't use cross-canceling, because we have to get to this point in order to use the method. So let's zoom in. So here we have 10 over 13 times 26 over 11. The way cross-canceling works is you're going to look diagonally across at each of the numbers and try to see if there's some number that can divide both of them, but it has to be the same number. Let's start with 10 and 11 first. So I'm going to put a circle around 10 and 11, and I want you to think, is there some number that can divide 10 and 11? No. And since there isn't, we can't cancel anything. We can't reduce this yet. Now let's look the other way. Let's look at 13 and 26. So 13 and 26 can both be divided by 13. 13 divided by 13 will give us 1. So I'll cross that off and I'll put a 1 here. And 26 divided by 13 would give us 2. So I'll cross that off and I'll put a 2 here. And then what I like to do to make sure that we don't make a mistake is I like to rewrite what we have. This new fraction is 10 over 1. So I'll write that here below. We're still going to use times. And now I've got 2 over 11. And these numbers are much easier to work with. Much easier to work with. So now we can just multiply across. We've got 10 times 2, which is 20. And 1 times 11, which is 11. Now let's move this up so we have a little more space. So now we have to see how many times 11 can go into 20. And this division is a lot easier than what we did last time. But let's do some work over here to make sure we don't get confused. So 20 is going to go inside the house. 11 is going to go outside the house. 11 can go into 20 one whole time. And 1 times 11 is 11. When I subtract that, I'll get 9. And this is my remainder, which means it's going to be my numerator in my mixed number. We've got 1 and 9 over our divisor, which is 11. So this equals 1 and 9 over 11. So we got the same exact answer as last time, but it was way quicker. So if you can, I highly recommend cross-canceling. Thanks for watching our video on the math review. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. We might use your question in our next video. And if you found this lesson helpful, please make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. And it would really help if you share this and our other videos to any of your social media platforms. See you next time on the Math Review.